Okay, here we go. I was going to say, so for Agentspace for financial services and focusing on operational excellence, would we like to get started here, Cass?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. In today's live stream, we're going to cover Agentspace, specifically around financial services, and we'll cover 3 segments of this industry that will cover specific use cases. First and foremost, we'll do introductions, topics that we're going to cover in the webinar, evolution of financial, and then, of course, the demo itself in Agentspace. So hi, my name is Cass Obregon. I'm a Google engineer, been with Google for 9 years. I'm actually based in Dallas.
Welcome, Cass. Excited to have you. I'm Bethany Truschel, the Google Cloud lead for the region, and I'm excited to be here today to talk about how we can help, optimize operations for finance.
Perfect. So if we look in terms of a lot of our customers that we see in financial services, we all see the typical execution of enterprise data. We're all familiar with the concept of what's happening with agents in the world and AI, more on the consumer side. But one of the advantages that we're seeing today is what we're leveraging with agents on the enterprise side specifically, and grounding your data against your enterprise information. Some of the common problems that we see in finance today is the siloing of data, where you have a lot of third-party applications where data is residing, and having employees across different roles that need access to that data across different business scenarios is not a very easy thing. A lot of solo sharing is occurring. And then the second issue associated to that is the compliance burden of privacy and data leakage across that enterprise data. So when you have employees that you've set up very strict profiling in terms of what data is accessible to them, you want to be able to manage that security and governance down to a tool that allows you to support the aggregation and summarization of that data with the same compliance issues and not having to reinvent the wheel again, right? Obviously, the key things that we're seeing when you're doing time-consuming processes, whether it's claim reviews, loan analysis, fundamental research across different market segments, it's an iterative process that requires connecting to multiple systems all at different times, extracting information, re-extracting, and really having the capability of simplifying that workflow is one of the key things that we're seeing customers today, where they're using AI to help accomplish that. And then most importantly, the scaling of operations, the capability of being able to do a whole lot more without having to, doing that with less amount of time, without compromising the quality of the data and the research done behind each of these efforts associated to it. So what are AI agents? What value and what paradigm do they provide in financial services? And then what is it that we're doing beyond traditional AI? And we'll talk about that in a second. So what we've done in those 2 contexts is how can we simplify everyone's life doing an amalgamation of all those technologies, agent capabilities versus Google search technology versus automating workflows versus enterprise search versus using agents that can automate some of your work. Having all those different capabilities built into a platform is very complex, and a lot of different technologies that are required. Today, what you're seeing in the market is a lot of customers are doing a hodgepodge of multiple tools to try to create that kind of seamless experience. But within Agentspace, we found a way to provide that as a SaaS product that is single tenant, meaning that it's dedicated and grounded to your enterprise data, and you own and manage the optimizations of the agents and the models that are grounded directly against your enterprise data. So what can we do to simplify to the employees to manage that without adding more complexity on top of what they do on a daily basis? So agents is not about increasing productivity or efficiency or gains. It's about unlocking the potential of grabbing sources from disparate data and giving you a seamless view that applies to the business situation that you're in. Whether you're looking at a specific claim and you're trying to connect to credit history for the customer versus the market data, then that specific market where that loan is coming from, versus past history and credit history associated to the actual consumers of that loan, versus what is available within your market segment against the market trends in terms of rates and everything else. Being able to get all that information seamlessly and all at once is very key. And that's where agents can help you to automate each of those tasks for going to market and execution. We are in this market today in the AI innovation. Almost every week, you're seeing those changes occurring where you're seeing a lot of competitors leapfrogging each other. But really, at the end of the day, what does it mean for you in your enterprise, and how can you enable something you're investing in and know that you're getting the latest and greatest as all these advancements are coming in? So one of the strengths that we've been able to accomplish within Agentspace is making it essentially cloud agnostic, meaning that the amount of systems that you're connecting to can be any other third party, being able to support agent capabilities that are open standards based, whether you are investing in agents from multiple other vendors, having a platform that allows you to manage the governance against all those agents and setting the permissions and manage the lifecycle of all the agents that you've procured in one single platform is very important. And this is where Agentspace adds a secondary or tertiary value in terms of governance for privacy, access to data, and your agentic frameworks that you invested in. Again, not just Google, but any other third party. And then, of course, being able to connect to data that is residing no matter where it's at, whether it's in AWS, Azure, Google, or any other third-party platform, or even on-premise. We give you the capabilities of liberating your data and giving you one single view against all that. The models that we're using are the latest and greatest from Gemini, and the models we include are multimodal version 2.5. So multimodal in terms of input, allowing you to index and search against videos, audios, all forms of documentation, including essentially data lakes and your databases, and also third-party systems as well. And then having agentic workflows. In that aspect, we give you 3 types of capabilities. Whether you're using third-party agents, you're trying to set permissions to execute within Agentspace, whether you're creating your own custom agents using A2A protocols, which is a standard, or MCP, which is another standard. We support both of those and even more for open standards. So being able to build your own agents to automate custom workflows, let's say the whole loan approval process can be done, or claim management for insurance policies or other policies as well can be done and automated so that your employee just clicks once and it works through automatically for you and goes through different departments for approval. So giving those capabilities and managing all that within Agentspace is very important. And then, of course, the knowledge frontier of where you can both summarize data, take actions against the data, and being able to interact with the information and share that information based off of your security and accessibility of that data. So again, paramount, privacy and security is very important, and we map that directly into Agentspace as well. So problems that we see that we talk about for going to production, which is very hard to do when you're trying to enable agents, is security and data privacy, right? Agentspace has built in a agentic security framework that allows you to transparently map essentially security policies from your own identity, where you've already created roles and permissibility, and that maps directly to the roles when you're defining those. So when you're installing Agentspace right off the bat, it is configuring and connecting directly to your identity management system and allowing you to map those profiles you've already created and leveraging that within Agentspace. In addition to that, it's connecting to your enterprise data using the third-party connectors. So we have a huge, rich array of connectors for third-party that support ACL access. So ACL is access control list. That means that when a user logs into, let's say, Salesforce, and they're looking at the information already, the models of what data they have access to are predefined in the roles that you define within Salesforce. Those same roles map directly into Agentspace. So the same data that you get within when you're logged into Salesforce or any other system like SAP is the exact same permissions and data that you get within Agentspace, not more, not less. And then, of course, the skills needed for everyone, from business users to developers, to create agents. So we've created 3 different frameworks so you can create agents. It's, as I mentioned, third-party agents that are pre-created, that are grounded against your own data, custom agents that you're building where we've already created an array of low-code, no-code tools to allow you to create agents that can support very complex capabilities. And then as well, wizard agents, where you can create your own agents using a wizard as an employee that you don't have to have any development expertise. You walk through normally maybe repetitive tests that you do on a weekly basis. You can build that into an agent and then have it scheduled to execute every Monday morning, so that you walk in the office, all that is already ready and executed against the data for you. Cost management and efficiency is really the bottom line of what we're looking for. So solution platforms, as I talked about, for Agentspace, agent capabilities and managing the whole governance and lifecycle, the models for Vertex AI, the latest in Gemini, research and modeling tools are built in. That includes our secret sauce technology of Google search is embedded and grounded as part of Agentspace as well. And then the infrastructure to be able to execute the scalable platform, all that is part of your single stack for your enterprise solution. And all that is dedicated directly for you to own and manage and optimize in executions. As I mentioned before, and again, reiterate again, the capabilities of building agents, we give you a wide array of capabilities within Agentspace, from do-it-yourself building, Vertex Agent Builder, conversational agents, both ours and third party, and then wizard-based Agentspace agents you can create with the Agent Builder built into Agentspace. That really is no coding, and we'll walk through a scenario of what that looks like. For data privacy comments, customers own their own data, not Google. So when you're installing Agentspace and running it within your infrastructure and ground it against your data, you as the administrator manage and own that single instance. That includes the models that they're training and optimizing against their data. You own all that optimization, not Google. We guard against insider data access so that you manage your own data and that infrastructure. No one within Google has access to any of that information. Google will never touch your data. And even if you called us to be able to do support or to require for you to, get some assistance against that, we will never expose that data to anyone else. It's all yours. You own that. So no one ever gets, not even within Google, will use that data, nor third parties as well. Your data is not used to train any of the Google models. You own the trained models. You own that. All that belongs to you. And then Google does not use customer data for advertising, and your data is not used to train models for any of the customer as well. So all that you own and manage, everything that is being running within the Agentspace infrastructure, all belongs to you. So typically,
because it sounds like our data is our data, and Google does not own our data.
Correct. Absolutely.
Correct. Thank you.
So in financials, typical use cases we're seeing a lot of customers executing is document analysis and summarization, both creating agents and using Agentspace on the fly, fundamental research against market analysis, go to market for capital markets, underwriting and loan origination for simplifying as well, both automating, creating agents to automate it, but also curating all the data so they can do that automatically for you, claim processing, and then market analysis as well, as I mentioned. So we've included two wizards called Deep Research and Idea Generation. Deep Research can help you to analyze new products or services you're trying to introduce in the market, and it will give do an analysis in the market, trying to identify the competitors, market segments you're going after, industry that you're going after, and then we'll give you a top-down analysis of probabilities and successes and variances and competitors against that as well. So very, very deep capabilities that are built into the research agent for that. Typical agents that we see that customers are executing today in finance is automating the fundamental research agents, the loan review agents, due diligence agents, client reporting agents, and then claim management agents, both for internal consumption and for customer consumption as well. So all those are very powerful capabilities. You can use our tools or any third parties. You can help manage directly within Agentspace as well. So now let's go ahead and jump right in. This pretty much covers all other facets within your organization that Agentspace can work, not just financial specific business scenarios, but marketing, sales, software and IT for troubleshooting issues, HR, and of course, finance. And each one of those, you're seeing a plethora of gains and advantages for business outcomes for customers running this tool today in market. So let's go and jump right in now, and let's go and give you a view of what Agentspace looks like. Okay.
And I was going to say, while you're pulling that up, Cass, I really like the way that you articulated that this is not just something that the IT team has ownership over, but in fact, every user at an organization has ownership to a certain extent and will have the security and the data governance enabled for their licensing, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely correct. Yep. Yep. So one of the things that we designed, what you're looking at is Agentspace. This is running in my sandbox. I actually created an artificial company, and we're going to run through various scenarios. But before we jump into that, I want to go ahead and give you all the design elements and what it looks like for you. So you're going to notice that this looks very similar to the Google search that you're very familiar with on the consumer side. We went ahead and carried the same paradigm for familiarity for everyone. One of the key things that you'll note by default is when I first log in, the search for the internet is disabled. So that means you're automatically grounded directly for just your enterprise data. When I click on sources on the right side, you'll notice all the sources that I have configured, both first party, which is Google products. You'll note that I'm also connecting to third party products. So you see Microsoft SharePoint is included in here as a data source for all the documents, both PDFs, PowerPoints, Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, all those as part of the most searchable context within Agentspace. A database table that does announcements for the company. This is my Google Calendar. This could easily be any other third-party or Microsoft's calendar. You're seeing now Google Drive is also included for both not only my personal files, but also any shared drives that have been shared with me or company drives. You'll notice on here, Jira is a trouble ticketing system. So you'll note that Jira is included as a third-party connector, my email as well. And then we also have a mobile application development platform called AppSheets, where you can create applications for third-party partners, maybe for loan submissions, where you can do it for a mobile app. Those have databases associated. That's also part of my search context that's included as a data source. All my contacts, Microsoft's OneDrive. You'll see here also we are including Salesforce for sales and opportunities. It's also included. And of course, internal Slack for chat communications is included as part of the search on here. As an employee, I can actually scope this down and say, you know what, I only want to look at Salesforce or Slack conversations, and I want to query against that. So employees have the capability of narrowing essentially the search capabilities, but by default, everything within your enterprise data is included right out of the box. On the bottom, you'll see some of the more powerful agents, deep research was included, idea generation, and then in addition to that, it takes you to the agent profiling, where you can actually create your own agents or subscribe to any agents that have been enabled that you have permissibility to see. So not everyone can create agents. You need to have permissions to create agents on your own. So in here, I can go in, and you'll note that here's one agent that I created, which is a Monday morning agent. And it's executing essentially all my Monday morning tasks by default and automating at least 5 or 6 different queries associated against what I typically do in the Monday morning. So in this scenario, it's actually reviewing all of my opportunities and giving me a total summary of where things are executing, what are my opportunities at, what's the sales opportunities, what's the actual revenue, and what are the current engagements that are associated directly. And notice it's actually generating an email. So it looked at the opportunities and then identified all those that are in my pipeline. And then the next querying against that the agent looked at, I asked it to go and identify a specific customer that didn't have any of my services that should be subscribed to. So it actually identified an opportunity for services that I'm not selling to that customer, generated an email, and now it's allowing me to enable actions against that. So it generated an email stipulating to that customer and that contact, hey, at NeuroVibe, we provide a lot of services. We notice that you are an existing customer, but you are not executing one of our very important services that will help you to optimize and blah, 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 right? This is telling you what that service does and what it's going to enhance for them, where it adds value for them. So it advances behavioral analytics to the end consumers, personalized gaming experience, optimizing workflows for those users, and et cetera, and then community and health dimensioning and analytics associated. So very powerful in terms of giving you the capabilities of not only grabbing summary information, but also giving you a capability where you can actually enable actions against that and giving you recommendations of what you should do. So no, in this scenario, I didn't have to log into my Gmail. It automatically created the email and then send it out and target it. So that shows you three powerful capabilities: summarizations, giving you a narrowing scoping recommendations and guidelines, and the actions to do, right? So I can go into that agent and show you essentially what it actually did in all those events. So note, Monday morning agent, account summary of details for 2024, in this case 2025, my apologies. And then here, tell me about future account, a target marketing pitch to position it right for future game services that they're not subscribing to. And then I told it to go ahead and create a calendar event and to send an email and do other actions. So it actually created a calendar event and did other actions associated. Very powerful. I was able to do multiple things all at once, right? And then in this scenario, I don't have to be a developer or a agent designer or a model builder. I just know the things that I do on a daily basis, and I ask it to do that automatically. And so now that I've created this agent, I can actually set permissions and share this with other employees, where when they execute this agent, it'll be in the context of the permissions of the data that they have as well, right? So very powerful capabilities with our agent building wizard that's out of the box. You'll see other things in here as well. So we have a long tail of conversations that are included as part of this. Note that in here, I had a conversation automatically where I have a service level agreement, and I'm looking at who the owner of the IP for that document is, and I can continue further in this conversation where it's one of the customers. I have another scenario where I'm looking at my highest revenue customers and then opportunities. In addition to that, so you'll note that I have a lot of conversations as an employee. Doesn't mean that if I switch over to another issue and go address that, I don't lose that context. I can always come back to it. So we actually have a very long tail of conversations, and all the context gets stored and saved. So it's an unlimited number of conversations I can manage as an employee. So in this example, I'm looking at what are my highest revenue sales opportunities, and then other additional things I did associated where I'm asking it to compare an ingestion of a architectural diagram, and it's actually giving me and extracting all the data and then telling me what that actual diagram is doing. So you can do this with documents that are scanned as PDFs or images, and out of the box, you have multimodal extract capabilities without you having to train or build models to do that automatically, right? Very powerful in terms of the conversations and all the agents that are built out of the box as well. So if we will now, we're going to go and jump in and run in and look at create a new conversation. And this conversation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump in as a loan officer, and I want to compare essentially the current loan qualifications for a home mortgage loan. So I want to make sure that we're in compliance to what's in the market, and it's now going in and extracting essentially all the qualifiers, which I can turn around and send as an email to the customer at that point, right? But as a loan officer, I want to make sure that we're fitting in with the compliance in the actual state. So I can do additional questions. And what it's doing now, it's doing a comparison for the same thing for mortgage loan qualifications that it got nationally, and then comparing it to those also within Texas as well, as an example. So it's now coming back and giving me Yes, and doing a comparison versus national versus state. And I can even scope it down even further to city, right? So if you're wanting to make sure that you're providing the best services and needs that are competitive with other competitors within your local market, you can actually do that as well. And then I can even further go even further into this conversation, and based off of these kind of loan types that I'm looking for, give me what are the credit score requirements and qualifications to be able to comply to these specific loans that I'm building within that conversation. And now you can see it's giving you all the details. Now, let me stop there for a second. You get to notice on the right side, there was a tail of conversations that were occurring and building. So what this is giving you is an audit history of where it's grabbing all those sources of information. Notice some of those are documents that I have within my Google Drive where it grabs some of that information. Others where it's actually looking at quick loans within our quick loans connector and give you information within quick loans, some of the standards that are being included, and then ethics and policy of what information can be shared, and etc., including email, and then also including within my Slack. So each one of these sources is where it actually grabbed all that information and gave you summarized information against that. For that data, you can actually add it to your notebook. It's kind of like your own private data lake where you can index that so that that is readily available. If another customer has the same questions, you can actually store that and tag it so it's searchable. And then as well, you have the capabilities of updating that content. So if you know that the ethics and policy document is out of date, you can add content to it or a comment telling the owner that this is missing this section or this section as well. Go ahead, Bethany.
Yeah, I was just going to ask. So if myself as an insurance agent, it sounds like one, I don't have to be technical to use this, but it also sounds like one, I need to check like the state laws of where I'm going to be able to sell. But then also two, I get to pick how I'm pulling the data from these different sources and what sources they're being pulled from. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay.
So both at the governance level, you can identify, you can scope what sources the information is coming from. And then as an employee, if you're a manager or an executive, you can even scope that out. And as an employee, even scope it even further where your data source is coming from, right? Cool.
Thank you.
All right. So that kind of concludes the demonstrator for Agentspace. Let's go ahead and jump back into the slide presentation. So some of the key things that we just went through in the demonstration is obviously agents where you can automatically execute automated workflows, the capability of being able to have a disparate set of data sources as part of your enterprise, being able to search concurrently against all that data and it coming back and summarize all that information. Also being able to provide you with summarization of that information. So not only did it grab the data, but it summarized at the bottom and gave you a summary conclusions of how it grabbed the information, what the information entailed, and what actions you can take it against that. So you'll notice against every single prompt, it also provided additional prompts if you want to go further, and then what actions you can take. In Agentspace, you can update third-party sources, you can create emails, you can create calendars, as you saw, update Slack conversations. So within Agentspace, you can actually update to your ecosystem of platforms all from one single screen without having to connect to any of those systems to update those independently. Very important in terms of simplifying the workflow and using all the agentic capabilities to managing that. The finding is industry leading. Google, as I mentioned, the Gemini models, 2.5 models, have been grounded with Google search technology so that there is no hallucination going on. It is tied directly against your enterprise data. The models are getting optimized against your own data as well. And as I mentioned before, all those optimizations you own and manage. That is not Google's anymore. You can do a querying against images, text, videos, audios, or your enterprise data, text data, search data, databases, etc. We are, as I mentioned, we are including our Google Knowledge Graph technology that we use within Google Search for accuracy and personalization in the context of your conversations. And it security searches information across 100 plus applications, all directly from within Google Agentspace. The acting, again, as we mentioned in what we demonstrated today, being able to build your own agent to do multiple things at once, and then scheduling it to execute so that you can actually execute an agent, and the output that gets generated, you can actually wire it up and build other agents that take that as input and wire multiple agents together to do a whole pipeline of execution for you. So the capabilities of building your own agents using an agent wizard, or using out-of-the-box agents that have been developed, or your own custom or third-party agents, all can be integrated all within Agentspace and interacting with each other. Very powerful capabilities. And again, more importantly, Agentspace acts as a governance model for all your agents. So you set permissions, who can execute what, and who has access to those agentic data models that are executing against those agents as well. All effortlessly and very easy across the spectrum of users for enablement. We do have an agent gallery, and we're expanding that to include an agent marketplace, so that as an administrator, you can actually look at other third-party agents you can subscribe to and submit, and then set permissions who can execute. So that is growing exponentially on a week-by-week basis as well. And then, of course, the agent designer, which I demonstrated, that allows you to build essentially non-coding agents as a standard employee with a UI interface that has over 30 plus pre-built tools and actions you can do. You saw a lot of those actions that are at the bottom when I was showing you that one agent, where it's actually sending an email, creating a calendar event, scheduling an event with the customer to review the email that was sent out, and then also including knowledge experts within Slack to include them in those conversations as well, right? All automatically without me having to go and do all those tasks. So first and foremost, Agentspace is a hub for managing all agents, both first-party and third-party agents, and integrating all your enterprise data so you have access to all your data and information all from one single place. What is very important, Agentspace is built out of the box to protect privacy for all your data. We support and leverage your existing security and compliance certifications and models so that data governance and privacy is inherent right out of the box. It's not an afterthought. We leverage your existing identity management and map and extract directly to those same access roles and data governance models that you've already built in place within your IT infrastructure. We support role-based access control all the way down to the connector level. So again, responsibility for data governance and sovereignty is also important. So if you're a multi-conglomerate corporation where data has to reside within certain countries or boundaries, you also have those capabilities in admin to define so that data stays where it's at. And then more importantly, responsible AI. So we're grounding the LLM models so they're bound directly to your enterprise data and nothing else associated to that, right? The advantage that you have within Google Agentspace is to simplify an employee's everyday experience without having to learn new technologies, right? Single experience for Google quality search over dedicated to your enterprise data. We've incorporated the latest and greatest of Google's multimodal AI and advanced reasoning built into this. That includes Google search capabilities. One-stop shop for all your agents, both pre-built, first-party, third-party, in your enterprise with centralized built-in governance capabilities for all those agents within Agentspace. We have a huge array of pre-built connectors and agents that are built across your enterprise data within the marketplace so you can consume and expand. And of course, most importantly, enterprise-grade security, privacy, compliance, and data residency controls are built right out of the box for administrative purposes. And for additional information, there's also 3 videos that are available on YouTube. One is against the banking, which is you saw me cover right now, the banking proactive client engagement. We also have another one around insurance claim acceleration, and then another one against capital markets and private wealth management. And each of those are different use case scenarios that we cover within Agentspace, demonstrating those capabilities. So we'll make those links available within the webinar as well. Okay. And that essentially concludes our webinar for today. Thank you again for attending, and hopefully it's been fruitful for you today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cass. That was wonderful. I'm going to stop the recording now.